Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies need to get serious. In a season where so many teams have improved, the Western Conference is deep, the Memphis Grizzlies have not stricken when the iron is hot, and now they're in a situation where their season could be disrupted and possibly in shambles if everything doesn't go back onto par. I look at the Grizzlies and I've made a video about this team and how I love their rebuild, how they've made so many good strides in becoming a contending team for the future, and right now it looks like they've lost focus, especially with their star Ja Morant, who's been suspended for 2 games due to improper conduct.
Memphis Grizzlies announced that Ja Morant will be away from the team for at least the next 2 games, in which Morant appears to be holding a gun. The video was posted early this morning at a nightclub. Morant and/or his associates have been under investigation by police or the league for their connection to a number of incidents.
Ja Morant is in a sticky situation. I love Ja Morant for what he is in the league. I think that you have a flashy guy, a guy who's able to connect with his fans, who embraces the culture and also embraces the fact that he's an outgoing guy, is great for the league. We love those personalities, and we've seen players like that in the past that have done well and have been an entertaining figure for many people who love the game of basketball. But it's clear as day that Ja Morant needs to focus on what matters most. When you look at the Memphis Grizzlies this season, yeah, they're the number 2 seed, but they're slowly slipping in the standings. You looked at their play over the past few months since the early part of January, they haven't been the same team that we've noticed. They've had a dip in their play due to the fact that Steven Adams has been injured, and you look at the fact that Dillon, one of their better defensive players, is now going to be missing games due to the fact of him picking up his 16 technical, and that's going to be an issue to go out into the end of the regular season. And to put more measures into everything else, their backup big man Brandon Clark is now expected to miss the entire season and most of part of next season due to an ACL injury. In regards to the Western Conference looks like a bloodbath. We know how good these teams have become with the trade deadline. We know the Phoenix Suns have looked great with Kevin Durant and D Book. The Golden State Warriors are back into a rhythm after winning 5 games straight. The Denver Nuggets are still one of the best teams in the Western Conference. The Sacramento Kings have one of the best offenses. And there's so many teams in the play-in who the Memphis Grizzlies might face if they keep a top 2 seed that have performed very, very highly as of late that can give them problems. Since January, the team hasn't looked that great, and even importantly, Steven Adams missing part of time and not being in the lineup has definitely affected the Memphis Grizzlies, especially on the half-court offense and their rebounding. And now having him back is a huge plus, but now you're dealing with guys such as Dillon going to be out, Ja Morant who's going to be out, and Brandon Clark who's going to be out. And these are maybe few games that are going to be missed, and we'll be back within the next week. When it comes to playoff basketball, when it comes to trying to win a championship, which I think the Memphis Grizzlies have the pieces to do, everything matters. Everyone has to be bought in, everyone has to be doing their job, and if your leader isn't rallying the troops, that's going to be a problem. And I think that with Ja Morant not focused and bought in into what the main goal is, it's going to affect the long-term success of the Memphis Grizzlies. If your best player isn't going to lead your troops in the right direction, you're never going to get to the end goal of winning a championship. Now, I know Ja Morant is 23 years old. I'm not making this video to shit on Ja Morant, and I get it. NBA players have made these decisions before. They have fun, we get it. That's what their life and that's what they're able to do. But it's important that you make the right moves, especially when it comes to winning. Back in 2014, I believe the Washington Wizards, when they had a young backcourt of Bradley Beal and John Wall, definitely had locker room issues amongst their entire team. When they figured that they had issues, they made the swift action to trade those pieces away, add in quality vets, and they helped them put themselves in a position where they can start winning more games. And we saw the improvement of John Wall, who became an all-star and all-NBA player, and we saw Bradley Beal become an all-star and an all-NBA player along the lines, and they all became good leaders for those teams. This is the same thing that we want to see from the Memphis Grizzlies. And it looks like not just from Ja, the entire Memphis Grizzlies team has gone in the wrong direction. Do I think it's over for them, that they're basically going to be asked for the next few years? No. I think it's a bump on the road, especially for a team that doesn't have a true vet amongst them that can tell them what to do, and they're learning the ropes as the NBA goes along. We talk about polarizing players like Allen Iverson, who everybody loved, with his entertaining play. I look at what Allen Iverson said during his time when he was playing, and this was a player that was polarizing. He embraced the culture, and many people didn't like the image that he portrayed, even though he was respected amongst so many NBA greats and players that he played against.
What are the kind of things you say to them right now, based on your own personal experience?
Learn from what I did wrong. Learn from all the stuff you seen Allen Iverson do wrong, that rubbed everybody the wrong way. If you don't want to go through what I go through right now, as far as being the bad guy in the NBA and all that, I'm telling them to do whatever it takes for them to be successful. Off top, dog, they love you right now. They love you right now. But please believe me, the first incident, the first time something happened, they are waiting, man. They're waiting, man. They're waiting, man.
I think a part of it is due to the fact that this team is just young. They're a young team and they want to have fun, and I get it. But I think that this team needs to understand the gifts that they have, and especially Ja Morant and the ability that he has to play on the basketball court. He's one of the best young guards we've seen in the NBA as of late, and we've seen him do so many great things over the past few years, going from the playoffs. We've seen the highlight dunks as well. This guy is talented, and we don't want to see him throw away his talent, and I don't think he will. But I will tell you this about Ja Morant. Ja Morant is a budding superstar in this game. He's one of the best transition players, a highlight reel whenever he wants to be a highlight reel, and he has so much potential to be great in this league. I want to see him perform at the highest level, and I hope that this is a lesson that he learns so that when he comes back, he can be that leader that Memphis needs so that they can win a championship one day in the future, because I think they have the tools to do so. Hopefully, he makes smarter decisions that doesn't put his team, himself, and especially his brand in jeopardy. It's unfortunate, but I do think that Ja Morant is going to learn from this and be a better role model and a leader for the Memphis Grizzlies. But I think that this team definitely has some lessons that it needs to learn, and I think that as these suspensions kick in, and due to the fact that Brandon Clark is going to be injured, you're going to need your two best players, especially Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., Dillon Brooks, the entire team to re-up their level and play at a higher level so that they can succeed when the postseason begins. But again, I love the Memphis Grizzlies. I love what they've been building, and I think that these bumps in the road are going to help them get to their goal of being a successful franchise, and hopefully they learn. If you enjoyed the video, definitely leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, stay on beat.